10 years ago, I had a master's degree and I was driving for Uber on Friday nights. I was educated, broke, and stuck as hell. If you're watching this and you think your next promotion or certification is going to save you, you're about to get a reality check. Look, this isn't your typical feel-good leadership content, and this ain't going to make you feel warm and fuzzy inside. This is the wake-up call you need if you're stuck in survival mode and you don't even know it. Most leaders are grinding harder than ever and staying exactly where they are. They're working in survival mode instead of leading from growth mode. The brutal truth is, you might be one of them. I'm Miles Threat. Thank you for joining me today for Legacy Leaders Lounge. I help ambitious leaders just like you build a lasting legacy no matter where you're at in your leadership journey. And if you're feeling stuck right now, you're going to want to watch this episode. Over the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you the 5 signs that you're leading in survival mode and not growth mode. And more importantly, I'm going to show you how to break free from that. Let's get into it. I was changing in my car from my day job uniform to that polo I'd slip on to start driving Uber. And that's survival mode, people. Picture this. You're a single parent. You can't keep up with your bills. Kind of living off your credit cards, getting deeper in debt as you go. Those bills, they keep piling up faster than you can keep up with. The reality is, you're trying to keep the lights on and food on the table. I had a multitude of gigs running at the same time. I had that day job as a training specialist for a major auto manufacturer, doing Uber or Lyft on the weekend. I was also teaching English as a second language to Chinese kids, whether it was early in the AM, sometimes it was later in the evening on the weekends. I was hustling my ass off and tired as hell. I was what I call overbroke. You know what overbroke means? It means you're making money, but you're never getting ahead. You're working harder, but you're not working smarter. Here's the brutal truth. Working hard without a strategy is just a hamster wheel, and it's exhausting. You see, survival mode keeps you defensive. You're not creating solutions. You're just managing problems. You're putting out fires instead of building systems. You're reacting instead of leading. And that, my friend, that will keep you stuck forever. You see, survival mode will keep you stuck in that work hard mode. But working hard alone doesn't lead to breakthrough. It leads to burnout. And here's the kicker. I thought a master's degree would actually save me. And boy, was I wrong. Don't get me wrong. Education is great, and I learned some things from that master's degree. I invested thousands of dollars in just over 3 years of my life to get that degree. You know what happened when I graduated? Same job, same pay, same problems. I thought getting that degree would at least give me a pay increase, but that automotive manufacturer didn't give a shit about that. I learned real quick that extra education didn't mean a damn thing to them. You see, I was collecting all kind of credentials, like collecting Pokemon cards. Think of that next certification or that next degree or that next training would be the magic bullet. And guess what? That's survival mode thinking at its best. Those credentials, they're a great comfort zone disguised as progress. But real growth requires risk, not more credentials hanging on your wall. You want to know the difference between a leader and a survivor? Leaders take strategic bets. Survivors collect safety nets. And those leaders who take those strategic bets, they bet on themselves. So stop collecting those degrees and certificates and start taking some strategic risks. The difference between a 50K mastermind and a master's degree, one keeps you safe and one changes your life. Uber and Lyft on the weekends, teaching English to Chinese kids online early in the mornings. I was a time trading machine. Every free hour I had, I was trying to monetize it. Weekends, early mornings, late evenings. If I had time, I was trading that time for dollars. You know what I had to show for it? Exhaustion. Fat, out of shape, stressed as hell, constant hustle with nothing to build on. I was working in my life instead of working on my life. That time trading equals survival mode thinking. See, assets, they create freedom. But those gigs, they create dependency. Leaders, they build systems that work without them. Survivors work systems that can't work without them. Which one are you? Stop trading your time for money and build assets that work without you. Survival mode puts you in protective mode, and protection kills progress. I was so afraid that I was going to make my financial situation even worse, that I was playing it safe with everything. Safe job, safe investments, safe decisions. And you know what safe got me? Stuck. Very stuck. I was making fear-based decisions. Those decisions kept me small because I was terrified of losing what little I had. Here's a sports analogy for you. Defense wins games, but offense wins championships. Growth is going to require vulnerability, and it requires taking risks. You cannot play not to lose lose and expect to win big. It doesn't work that way. It's impossible. You will always stay small. You will always stay stuck. You cannot lead from a place of fear. Growth mode, it requires you to get out of your comfort zone. I was waiting for my boss to recognize my value. Meanwhile, I was building someone else's dream. I kept thinking, if I just keep working harder and I prove myself more, it'd promote me. It'd give me that raise. I was waiting for permission to succeed. Then I made a decision that changed everything. I invested in a mastermind. Not another degree, not another certificate, but this was for transformation. I knew something needed to change. That's when I shifted from the employee mindset to the owner mindset. Permission is a myth and ownership is a choice that you can make for yourself. If you're working hard and bringing value and delivering results, stop asking for that raise or the promotion. Just start creating value, but create value for yourself. You see, leaders don't wait for someone else to give them permission to succeed. They give themselves permission. And if you're feeling stuck right now, it's time that you give yourself permission to go after your dream. You see, those leaders, they initiate, they create, and they own their results. The day I started thinking like a business owner instead of an employee, everything began to change. And one of the biggest things that's going to change is you're going to be misunderstood because you're playing a different game. Here's how you're going to break out of that survival mode using the same framework that changed my life. It's called the ADAPT model. The A stands for awareness. First thing you got to do is you got to recognize you're stuck. Most people are unconscious incompetent. They don't even know they're in survival mode. Once you've identified you're in survival mode, the D stands for decision. Choose growth over safety. This is where most people fail. They want the results of growth mode, but they're not willing to make growth mode decisions. And those decisions are going to stretch you. The next A stands for adjust. Change your approach, not just your effort. Working hard in survival mode just gets you more of the same. In adjust mode, you got to be different. P stands for performance. Build assets, not just income. Create those systems that work without you. And here again, you will be so misunderstood when you do this. That's what's going to make you so different and so much better. And the final letter is T for trust. Trust is all about betting on yourself and not your employer, not your job. Stop waiting for everyone else to change your life. Take ownership of it yourself and make the changes that you have become aware of and seen, and the decisions that you need to make, and adjustments you need to make, level you need to take it for that performance. This framework took me from changing clothes in my car to building a business of my dreams. It's not theory. It's not fluff. It's the exact process I use to break free. If you're tired of being stuck in survival mode, I've got something for you. I'm running an Adapt Live Challenge. 3 days, 15 minutes each day, live one-on-one coaching, recorded with me. This isn't theory. This is the exact process I use to break free from survival mode and start building real wealth and impact. I've got 2 slots left. The link is in the description below. Stop surviving and start thriving today. 10 years ago, I was broke with a master's degree. Today, I'm building the business of my dreams. The difference? I stopped playing it safe and started playing to win. Which one are you going to choose? I'm Miles Threat. Thank you for joining me for Legacy Leaders Lounge today.